Welcome to the diffusion through a membrane simulation. In this simulation, you'll investigate the movement of materials through a semi-permeable membrane. This simulation has 5 parts. In Part 1, the presence of starch in a sample is investigated. To begin, select the Part 1 button. Select the starch indicator solution beaker and then one of the beakers to add the indicator to that beaker. Repeat this process for the other 2 beakers. Select the Mix button to mix the samples and observe your results. In Part 2, the presence of glucose in a sample is investigated. To begin, select the Part 2 button. Choose the glucose indicator solution beaker and then one of the beakers to add the indicator to that beaker. Again, repeat this process for the other 2 beakers. Choose the Mix button to mix the sample. Select one of the beakers to add the 3 beakers to the hot water bath. Choose the 10x button to speed up the process, and then observe your results. In Part 3, the ability for starch to diffuse through a membrane is investigated. Choose the Part 3 button. Select the dialysis tubing from the shelf. Next, choose the glucose solution to add the solution to that tubing. Next, select the starch solution to add the solution to the tubing. Choose a tie on the shelf to seal the end of the tubing. Choose the faucet to rinse the dialysis tubing. Select the distilled water to add it to beaker number 1. Choose the starch indicator solution to add it to beaker number 1. Select the 10 times button to speed up time and note any changes to the colors inside the dialysis tubing and in the liquid in the beaker number 1. In Part 4, the ability of glucose to diffuse through a membrane is investigated. Choose the Part 4 button. Next, select a pipette from the shelf. Choose the beaker number 1 to add liquid from the beaker to the pipette. Select beaker 2 to transfer liquid from the pipette to beaker number 2. Choose the waste container to dispose of the pipette. Next, select the glucose indicator solution to add it to beaker number 2. Select beaker 2 to move it to the hot plate. Choose the 10x button to speed up time and note any changes to the color inside the dialysis tubing as well as the liquid in beaker number 2. Part 5 is for identifying 2 unknown solutions. Begin by selecting the Part 5 button. Note and record the unknown solutions ID codes. Select the glucose indicator solution to add it to the beaker on the left. Select the starch indicator solution to add it to the beaker on the right. Choose the Mix button. Determine whether the unknown starch sample beaker does or does not contain starch. select the unknown glucose test sample beaker to place it in the hot water bath. Choose the 10x button to speed up time. Finally, determine whether the unknown glucose test sample beaker does or does not contain glucose.